So to begin making your animal, you want to look at your picture. So look at kind of the front and the side view, and I want you to trace the shape that you need to make. So a lot of it depends on what kind of your goal is on your project. Are you going to do just part of the head, or are you going to do the head plus part of the body? You know, I've seen some really great Rhytons that, you know, for a walrus, for example, instead of just doing the head, they kind of do down to where the flipper is. So then that's where the Rhyton begins, and you've got, you know, a cool texture. You've got a spot for your tusks to go, for example, and you can use, you know, put the flipper on the side to keep the Rhyton from tipping over. Right? All those things can be really great things to think about. One of the requirements, though, is that you have at least have the head of the animal, and no matter whether you do the head or the head and part of the body, you make it in what's called reduction construction. So to begin with, for reduction construction, you take a full lump of clay that's going to be the general size that you need for your project. How you know if it's the right size is you take your Rhyton and you hold it up to the lump of clay, and you kind of imagine, all right, is the head, if I make it this large, is it going to be able to fill that opening in the Rhyton, or is it going to be too small? And then what I need to do is add to my Rhyton to make it smaller on the end to match the head, right? So that's something to consider while you begin. But like I was mentioning before, trace the outside of the shape that you're hoping to go for. Again, I didn't print off the whole front of the face here, but my idea is to, again, have my Rhyton start right here on the animal. So the outer edge of this shape is what I'm going to try to form out of clay if I view it from the side. All the things that are added on, like the flippers and the tusks, those are add-ons with clay that I wouldn't need to worry about until later on in the project, right? But I've got this in place, ready to go. So you take the lump of clay. I know that this will fit up for my desired size on the Rhyton. And I want you to just start by making sure that you've wedged it so there's no air pockets. Keep in mind, we are going to be cutting this in half and hollowing it out. That's what reduction construction is. But you don't want there to be an unfortunate part of your project, like on the edge that you're not carving out, that has an air pocket that's just hidden. So always take that clay, wedge it a little bit. It also helps that kind of top surface of the clay to get a little bit closer together, so it's easier for you to work with the clay. So from the side, I'm trying to match up this kind of shape. You know, if you can see on the page there. So from the side, okay, I'm starting to get where the head is, and then this comes down in to where the flippers are going to be. I've got a real flat area on my shape, so I'm just going to press that flat on the underside. I'm going to flip it around the other way and see how the other side is looking, if I'm getting the same kind of shape that I want or not. You're going to be adding on some clay in the areas that you feel like need it. So, for example, I know on the front side of the walrus, I'm going to want to add a little more clay for the snout area to form in where I'm going to have the tusks. So I'd probably make kind of some divots to where the tusks are going to be. And put those in place. So I'll take a little bit of the clay, I'm going to add it on. I know that the it kind of bulges out, kind of right where the tusks are going to enter in. So I add a little bit of clay right there. Add another sizable pinch that's about the same size. It's going to be on this edge. The clay is so wet, I don't need to worry about score, slip, seal. Okay, so then a good thing to do is to just kind of mark on your clay where things are going to be. So I know I'm going to probably be putting one of my eyes kind of up in this area here. I like to make my eyes where I actually add clay in and then add eyelids. So I'm going to be doing that for my project here. I like to press in a little bit deeper than what you'd normally think you'd need to add clay in. And then, definitely on the image, the most pronounced part of the front is those nostrils. So actually taking my modeling tool, after I've got kind of the lumps and 3D nature of what I want in there, and actually pressing in where those nostrils are going to be. Now I'm going to press in a pretty big way, try to make them look pretty similar. And I'm going to work a lot with texturizing after this.